Hello and welcome to my screencast. In this video I will show you how to program a very simple Visual Basic for Applications macro in Excel that shows a dialog box with the text Hello World. This dialog box will be shown after pressing a button in a worksheet, and the result will look like this. Here we see the button where we can click on to open the dialog box. So click on Hello World and the dialog box opens and shows us the text Hello World. And the title of the dialog box is Greetings. When we click on OK, then the dialog box is closed. So click on Open Hello World. The dialog box is shown. Click on OK, and the dialog box is closed. So let us start with an empty workbook. When creating macros, we often need the Developer tab. If the tab is not displayed, we activate it in the following way. We choose an empty area in the ribbon and click with the right mouse button. Customize the ribbon and select here the Developer entry. Then OK, and the Developer tab is shown. To write our macro, we need the VBA editor, and the editor can be opened in two different ways. Once with the leftmost button here, Visual Basic. The second way is pressing Alt F11. This method, pressing Alt F11, is the faster and preferred way. So I press Alt and F11 and the editor is opened. In the top left corner we see the project window with all currently opened workbooks and Excel add-ons. We currently see some modules listed below Microsoft Excel objects. For each Excel sheet there is one code module and another code module is for the whole workbook. This module's sole purpose is to handle events on the worksheet or the workbook. For the worksheet, this could be if you activate that worksheet or select a cell in that worksheet. For the workbook, this could be an event like opening the workbook or saving the workbook. I use the term module a lot, but what is a code module? Well, think of a module as a container where the macros you write are stored in. So simple. Use different modules to group your macros and name the module in an appropriate way. For example, put all macros for data access in a module, all utility functions in another one, and in a third one, all spreadsheet formatting. In the lower left corner you see the Properties window that shows the properties of the selected item. In our case this is the worksheet named Sheet 1. Let us create a module for our Hello World macro and name it Main, and one for utility functions and name it Utility. In the first one we write our macro to show the dialog box, and the other one is for demonstration purposes only. So how do I create a new module? I choose Insert Module. Clicking on Name in the Properties window, I delete the given name Module 1 and replace it with Utility and hit Enter. The second module, Insert Module, and we name it Main. On the right side of the editor we see the code window, and on top of the code window we see two drop-down boxes. The left drop-down box is for object selecting, and the right one is for procedure selecting. In our example we don't need them. The first line in every VBA module has to be option explicit. Explicit, and hit Enter. With this command, all variables you use have to be declared before usage. Using a non-declared variable will result in an error, so you prevent misspelling variable names. More details to option explicit I will explain in another video. We will not use any variables, but always using option explicit is part of a good programming style. And now we really start creating our macro. One word for clarification. Technically the terms macro, sub or sub-procedure are equivalent. Mostly I will use the term sub, but it's the same as macro. Each sub or macro begins with the keyword sub, followed by a descriptive name for the sub. Our sub will be named show hello world. So, show hello world. Please note that the first letter has to be always a lowercase letter for sub names. For VBA, this is not explicitly defined, but in other programming languages like Java, this is a defined standard, and therefore we adapt that style. The style for the name is called camel case. Camel case is a naming convention in which several words are connected together and the first letter of a word is written in uppercase letters. To be precise, this is lower camel case because of the lowercase very first character. If also the very first character is uppercase, then the style is called upper camel case or Pascal case. When we hit enter, the declaration of the procedure end is inserted automatically. We have now created a macro named show hello world, and in the next step we create a message or dialog box that shows the text hello world. I insert some blank lines and hit tab for indenting. Why indenting? Indenting helps to make a program readable, more structured. To cover the principles and usage of indenting would exceed the scope of this video. Now I type MSG and hit Ctrl space. This activates the code completion and we get the complete statement to create a message box, MSG box. Now a space follows. The first parameter of the message box command is the string we will show to the user. In our case that's hello world. And because this is a string, we put hello world in quotation marks. So quotation mark hello world and text end. To separate hello world from the next parameter, we type a comma. The next parameter defines which buttons are shown in the message box. For the start, we will only show an OK button, so we use VBOK only. Pressing blank uses the code completion. If I delete it once again and type once again VBOK only and Ctrl blank, you see the possibilities I could use, but we stick to VBOK only. Next, once again, a comma for separation, and now we type the title of the dialog box. So, quotation mark, greetings. Help file, context, these are parameters we do not use, so we can leave them out. I hit enter. You see the line is reformatted. VBA checks all program lines if they are correct in syntax and formats them. If there is an error in that code line, the code line will be presented in a red font. There is no error, so no red font, everything okay. And our very simple hello world macro is finished. To test the correctness, we can start the sub from the editor. We have to locate the cursor anywhere inside the sub, and to run the macro or sub, we could press F5 or click on that play button. I press with the left mouse button on the play button, and you see our dialog box is shown. We have the prompt with Hello World, we have the greeting title, and we have our OK button. Pressing OK closes the dialog box. Now let's create the button on the worksheet to invoke our macro from there and not from the editor. So we change back to Excel. To insert a new button, we choose in the Developer tab, Insert, Button. I will draw the button in the upper left corner of that worksheet, and now I assign a macro to that button. In our case, it's Show Hello World. OK. And the button is drawn and the macro is assigned to that button. You see that the button has a frame with dots around it. This indicates that we are currently in an edit mode, and we can resize the button like this or that or that, or we can drag and drop the button to a new position. Clicking on the Caption button 1 enables us to alter the caption text. For example, we use Hello World. Now I click on a cell outside of the button. The frame disappears and the edit mode is terminated. Now when I move the mouse cursor above the button, the mouse cursor changes to a hand symbol. This indicates I can press the button. Now I press the button with the left mouse button and our dialog box is shown. We see the prompt with Hello World, the title with Greetings, and one button to close the dialog box, which I close. Once again, I move the mouse above the button. The mouse cursor changes to a hand symbol. I left click on the button and the dialog box is shown. Clicking OK closes. So, we finished the Hello World example for Visual Basic for applications. Thanks for watching. Bye. See you next time.